Hi guys, how is everybody doing? This is your girl Weza Solange, and I just wanted to share something with you. I have a message for you today. Whoever is out there, it just needs to be encouraged because I see and read a lot of the mail that you guys send me, and if I could just put it all in a box and summarize, basically, people are discouraged. People are going through a really hard time. And it's really disheartening to see how many of my own friends are going through depression, anxiety, and worry, uncertainty, and just not really knowing what's going on in their lives. It feels like for a lot of people, it feels like things are just getting harder. So don't be, number one, don't be distracted by everything that you see out there. People are going through the most. Everyone has their own problems in life. And I just feel like a lot of people are looking at the wrong place for solutions. They really are. And that's what led me to record this message. So it is no secret to everyone that knows me that I'm a child of God. And I have learned by myself, even though I've been going to church for years, just to start having a deeper relationship with God. I was going through this journey of self discovery, okay? And it's just to give you a little bit of the background story. This became deeper last year. I lost my mom in February, then I lost my brother in August. And I can't really explain what that period was. I really feel like I was just going through the motion. I made a lot of decisions that were made out of grief and confusion mainly, you know, because it doesn't have to be the loss of a loved one. A lot of people have dramatic things happen to their lives. They lose their job, they lose a family member, they lose all of their savings. Others, students, even students. For now, for a student having to fail, they really feel like their whole life is over or not having the funds to study. There's just a lot. As human beings, we are really going through a lot. And I feel like one of the best things that we can do if we can't physically solve everyone's problems is encourage each other. Some of us just need that push. We just need that encouragement so that we can breathe and make it to another day. Gosh, by the way, my looks, before I start, my boobs look really huge. It's just a video, okay? Before you'll start with like pregnancy rumors and all that. So can we just get that off the table? The wonders of Wonder Bra just had to go there before we start getting all serious on the Word of God. Um, but yeah, guys. Well, and it started raining again. But seriously, I hope that one person, at least one person today, is encouraged. I I decided to start my relationship with God while I've been in this long journey of a relationship with God, but I just decided to go deeper. And in seeking God, seeking the face of God, I kind of found myself, and it's a beautiful thing, and I'm still discovering. But through this journey, there's just some messages that I feel like they could help so many people. These are messages that I wrote down. I always have, every time I have the Bible, I have a notepad and I just jot a bunch of notes of what comes to me because I believe that that's the Holy Spirit speaking to me. A lot of these uh, messages are for me specifically, so it's okay if they don't apply to you, but there might be one person out there that needs to hear this. And I've already decided that I'm gonna have like a sisterhood group, a cell group, where as women just come together and we just talk to each other and help each other through whatever it is that we're going through. But we do it using the Word of God, because a lot of us are really seeking for solutions outside of God. And that is a road that I've traveled, and I'm just not interested in getting in there because there's nothing there, you know. So let's get started. I was reading, again, I've read so many times this story, and it's just like every time I get something new. The story of Joseph. I think that most of you have heard it. And for those that haven't, let me just give you a nice like background of how Joseph came about. So you have Abraham. Abraham, the father of many nations. We all know Abraham, right? So Abraham had two sons, Ishmael and Isaac. Then he had others, but let's focus on Ishmael and Isaac. And Isaac was the child of promise. Remember? The child that he had on his old age. So then Ishmael and Isaac. So Isaac was a child of promise. I had to write this down because my mind just runs and I don't want to be giving any wrong information. So then Isaac had two sons, Esau and Jacob, the twins, the ones that were already fighting as they were coming out of the mother's womb. Yeah. And then Jacob had many children, and one of them was Joseph. Joseph was the child of his sweetheart, Rachel. Rachel had Joseph and Benjamin. So we are focusing on Joseph today. Okay? So then, Joseph, and I'm just going to try to make it brief. Joseph has this dream. And in the dream, he sees that he's supposed to be great. And he sees all the brothers bowing down to him. He tells the brothers are not happy. If you want to go and check it for yourself, the story of Joseph starts in Genesis 37, in which he tells his family about the dream. And then his brothers decide to get rid of him. They're actually jealous and they think that Joseph is full of himself. And he is sold to Egypt as a slave. Okay? Sold to Egypt as a slave, and he's sold to Potiphar. I hope that I said that name right. Okay. And Potiphar is the captain of the guards of Pharaoh. Okay. So Jacob's destiny, just for me to kind of bring it down to those that have not read the story, right, is that he's supposed to be ruler, the governor of Egypt. And that is where his stories begin. His stories begin, in my understanding. That is where the preparation of Joseph begins. I keep on mixing Joseph and Jacob for some reason. I'm sorry if I do that. We are focusing on Joseph, okay? And here it is. Sold as a slave, sold to Potiphar. Potiphar sees that everything that he does it so well. Everything that he touches is so blessed that eventually, after a while, Potiphar gives all of these things to Joseph for Joseph to look after them. Okay? So in that space, as a slave, he's learning management skills. He is learning how to take care of people's things while still being a slave, while still serving. He's learning how to yield unto authority and how to also give orders. He's learning all of these things as a slave. Now, he doesn't know that this is a preparation phase, okay? But that is God preparing him for him to be what he saw in the dream. And then afterwards, you have a case of Potiphar's wife has the hots for Joseph, tries to seduce him. Joseph is smarter than that. He's like, listen, lady, I am not gonna bite the hand that fed me. Very smart of him, very righteous of him. But he lands him in jail because the wife devises a plan, says that he tried to rape her, and you can go and read the story for yourself. Really interesting stuff. And when she tells the husband throws him in jail. I still say that the husband throwing him in jail once again shows the hand of God, because the husband being the captain, right, of the guards of Pharaoh, and Joseph being his slave, he could have just killed Joseph. Like, how dare you put your paws on my wife? Like, off with your head. But he doesn't. He throws him in jail, in prison. And prison is the next level for Joseph. Now, if you're Joseph, you are just thinking, I can't catch a break. Like, I did the right thing. I was a really good servant. I did the best that I could. My work gave so many goods, to this man. All of these things increased because I was working on it. And then still I end up in prison, even though I never slept with his wife. Like, God, isn't that how a lot of us feel? We keep on making the right decisions. We keep on wanting to be good, but people just screw us left, right, and center. I know. Can you take that as your preparation? I know it doesn't feel like it, but can you take that as your preparation? Because when Joseph gets to prison, you know what happens? He has favor again. And the prison guard likes him and puts him taking care of all of the prisoners. Okay? And that again shows that, again, God was with Joseph. Joseph was fruitful when he was under Potiphar. Joseph was fruitful when he was a prisoner. In every place in which God places you, if you just have the right attitude and you give your best, you will be fruitful. And as you're being prepared for your next level, make sure that you have the right attitude. Make sure that you are in a frequency of gratitude all the time. Believe me, it helps a lot. Okay? So then, Joseph is in prison, and I call prison his networking place. That's where he's going to meet the people that are going to be the bridge unto his final level. Okay, so that's where he meets the baker and the chef. He tells them about the dream. They are released. They forget about him. You know how many people have you helped along the way, and you thought that once they got up there, they were going to remember you, and they just pretend you never existed. Okay, it's okay. It is well. Don't let it bother you. Just say it's part of my preparation. When the time is right, once that preparation phase is done, God steps in with divine intervention. And the divine intervention in the case of Joseph was God gave Pharaoh a dream that only Joseph could interpret. Only Joseph in all of Egypt. There is a position out there, and I know that I'm sounding like one of those preachers. I'm sorry, but it feels real. So please just bear with me. There's a position out there. There is a place out there. There is an opportunity out there that only you will be able to do. I truly believe that. It looks like it's something that a bunch of people can do, but there is just something about you so special that God put inside of you, that He's preparing you so that once you get there, someone is going to say, oh, I know who can do this. And that is what happened. Once no one could interpret the dream of Pharaoh, the chef remembered Joseph, like, oh my gosh, when we were in prison, there was this guy, and he interpreted this dream, and it was true. Let's try him. Years had passed since that happened, by the way. When it's your time, the Lord will remember you. I know it feels like it's taking too long sometimes. I know it feels like everybody else is getting ahead. They're going forward. They're forgetting about you. Everybody else is achieving their dreams. You are not everybody else. Check yourself as well. Like, take a little bit of accountability for how you are reacting to your situation. Are you complaining all the time? Because that is really not going to help you at the end of the day. It's not even about making God angry. No, it's just that the more that you complain, the more that you wallow in self-pity, the harder it is for you to see yourself out of that place. And the harder it is for you to look at the situation like, oh, this might be preparation for something great. Let me actually learn all I can while I'm here. What is actually happening? Like, analyze. every aspect of your life and see what lessons you can draw from what's happening. Take notes. Oh, that happened to me. Or I had that fight. Or that person said this. This is how I reacted. Start taking notes of everything that pertains to you and go through those notes and see what are the things that could do with a little attitude adjustment. Because you are going to need that newly found attitude in the place that God is taking you to. So then Joseph finally meets Pharaoh, interprets the dream beautifully. And if you guys remember the dream, there was going to be 7 years of abundance in Egypt and then 7 years of great famine. And as Joseph has finished interpreting the dream, he tells Pharaoh, you need to find someone really good to make sure that during the 7 years of abundance, he's taking stock and he's keeping things, he's saving up, managing all of the goods, managing everything so that during the 7 years of famine, we don't starve as a nation. Egypt doesn't starve as a nation. And Pharaoh is like, you're right. And you're the guy. Like in my mind, that is how Pharaoh actually did it. But yeah. And guys, after years of being a slave, a servant, a prisoner, being forgotten, Joseph becomes the ruler and governor of Egypt. He rules over everything. Took a while, but he got there. It really took a while. But that process was not the enemies stopping his destiny from coming to... No. All of that was God. There is no way that Joseph would have had the skills to be governor of Egypt if he had remained with his family. There's no way. There are certain things that you need to learn. And sometimes God has to take you out of where you are because you can't learn those things there. And he's placing you in this place so that he can teach you. So try to get as much from it so that you can go on to the next level. Sometimes we overstay in a certain level because we are not seeing the lesson in a situation. We are only seeing the hardship. We are seeing the failure. We are seeing, we are living the worry and the anxiety and all of those things. And no, try to get the lesson out of it so that you can graduate, And that is finally then Joseph gets to see the brothers that put him in that situation, and gets to see his father. He's reunited with everyone. Now they meet him as the governor of Egypt, as the ruler, like after Pharaoh, he's the second in command, if I may say so. And they can't even believe it, that the brother that they threw in the pit actually became what he dreamt he was going to become. And there's something beautiful, guys, just beautiful, that Joseph says. And that is when he had come into full realization of God's plan. Sometimes we only realize that much later. But if you go to Genesis 45, verse 5, right? So now the brothers are feeling bad because the father Jacob has died, and he's thinking, oh my gosh, now that our dad has died, Joseph is gonna deal with us because we were so evil to him. And Joseph is like, this is what he says: but now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. And on verse 8, so now it was not you who sent me here, but God. For he made me a father to Pharaoh and lord over all of his house and a ruler throughout all of the land of Egypt. So he's like, guys, chill. Like, what you meant for good, God turned it, what you meant for bad, God turned it around for good, basically, when you get to that level when you're like, you know what? Actually, my My haters helped me get to where I am. If they didn't turn their back on me, if they didn't badmouth me, if they didn't backstab me, if they didn't screw me over, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know, when you get to that level, when you're like, thank you to my haters, like that is like you have reached full understanding of why you are where you are. And that teaches to do not hold so many grudges against people that have not been part of your purpose. A lot of the time, they are your push. They are the motivation that is needed for you to get to where you're supposed to get. Doesn't feel like it. They're doing it out of anger, but that anger is fueling something in you for greatness. So don't focus too much on those that are against you. Take the lesson even from there. Go on to the next one. And this is it, guys. I hope that this has helped someone. I really hope that you are able to remain strong and faithful and hopeful through everything that is going to you, through everything that you are going through. I hope that you'll have a support system. I hope that you go on the word for comfort. That's where I go for comfort. That's where I go and fetch encouragement and inspiration and lessons and attitude adjustments and all of that. You know, just don't give up. I know it's cliche. People keep saying it, but it's true. The devil can't take things from you, but you can give it up. So don't give up. Stay on that fight. Be grateful. Be in a frequency of gratitude. Anything else? If you don't remember anything else from this very long, almost going to 22 minutes talk, is be in a frequency of gratitude all the time. Even if it's only 5 things that you can think about. There's at least 5 things in your life that you don't need money for, that you can be grateful. Your health, your life, hopefully having a roof over your head, being able to smile, being able to walk, being able to breathe by your own. Like, if you have children, the life of your children. If you have a spouse, the life of your spouse. Your family members, the life of your family members. Even the ones that I know at least they are alive. Just remain in a frequency. Life is energy, frequency of gratitude. Is that that law of attraction people keep talking about? Kind of works. Just you get what you put out there. Positive vibes, good frequency, gratitude, 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 gratitude. And remember to thank the source. And hang in there. It will get better. Take advantage of your preparation phase and equip yourself to be the greatest person and the greatest version of who you are. You only live once. You only have one chance to leave a legacy. Make sure that you do it right. And it's never too late to start. God bless you.